Janie Flores Live and Buena Vida Media congratulate the Hispanic Women of Distinction Honorees 2022. Join us for a special series featuring 4 of the honorees. Today we welcome Patricia Trejo, Administrative Program Planner for Hispanic Latino Studies for the School District of Palm Beach County and President for the Florida Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents. Patricia believes that Hispanic women are change agents that lead with pasión y corazón. They are resilient guerreras who know how to persevere through unprecedented times. Patricia, welcome.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Gracias por la invitación. I'm really grateful for the invitation. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Patricia. First of all, congratulations on being selected as one of the honorees for the Hispanic Women of Distinction. It's not easy. There are hundreds of applications that are submitted every year, and only 12 are selected, and also one Latina Pioneer. So definitely a big congratulations is in order, and you absolutely deserve it.
Muchas gracias. Thank you. It was a very nice surprise. I was touched and I had no idea. And when I got the call, of course, I was in tears. Oh. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the recognition.
Absolutely. Well, you know, one of the reasons that Elaine Vasquez, the founder of the Hispanic Women of Distinction, does is to recognize those Latinas who have gone above and beyond to support, to work in the community. And you are one of those Latinas. Tell us a little bit, Patricia, about what you do at the School District of Palm Beach County, and a little bit about your background, because education has been a very big part of your life.
Yeah, it really has. First, I'll share with you that I've been in public education, being a servant leader for 24 years. I've actually been a teacher, a learning team facilitator, an assistant principal, a principal, and now I am a district administrator serving specifically as a program planner around the Hispanic contributions made to the United States, infusing the Hispanic contributions made to the United States. Because here in Florida, I didn't know if anybody out there knows, but in Florida, we actually have a Florida state statute 1003.42p that talks about the importance of ensuring that all of our students learn about Hispanic contributions made to the United States. How about that, right? And so I have the privilege of doing that work, providing professional development, helping our educators and our administrators to infuse Hispanic contributions made to the United States throughout all the subject areas, kindergarten through 12th grade. And so it has been an absolutely amazing experience. With that experience has also allowed me to do other types of work outside of the school district, and where I have been humbly elected to serve as the president for the Florida Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents. And it's a nonprofit organization. We just celebrated our 10th annual professional development with a 2-day statewide conference where we had amazing leaders from teachers all the way to superintendents and school board members come from across the nation to come and join us here in Palm Beach County to really just work really hard to ensure that all of our students are getting their needs met with a special emphasis on our Hispanic Latino youth. And so we work to provide professional development. We work to ensure that we're advocating for sound policies that are going to ensure that we have equitable and equal educational learning environments for all of our students. And so that's the amazing work that I have the privilege of being able to do. I'm delighted to be able to serve.
You know, but that wasn't always the case, and that's why I definitely mentioned education, because when I read your bio, you grew up as a child of migrant workers, and I know that migrant workers go, they move a lot following the cosechas, right? The pisca, and so that was something that you experienced, and yet you were able to overcome those challenges. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's so important especially for our young people to hear and to learn how you were able to overcome those challenges that were presented early on.
It was very unique and challenging, I will admit. Having been raised by Mexican immigrant migrant farm workers that did travel from state to state depending on the seasons, it was a very unique challenge because I was always being transitioned to different schools. So I had to learn very early on how to adapt. It was very difficult to not see the individuals before me that were in the classroom delivering the instruction that didn't necessarily look like me with regard to my ethnicity. You know, I am a Mexicana, Hispanic, Latina, and it was hard to not even be able to communicate when I had that language barrier where I wasn't able to speak English in the classroom. So it was a challenge. You know, I always sit here and I think about even with our current students and how they have those struggles as well. When we talk about assimilation and acculturation, we want our students to really continue to own their ethnicity, their race, be proud of where they're coming from, ensure that they are being affirmed with regard to their traditions and their customs, and as well as embracing their histories. And so, you know, we want to make sure that they are getting those unique opportunities to really blossom and have that sense of belonging. And I work very hard to try to do that personally because I had that personal experience. I wanted to feel that way when I was growing up. And so it was a challenge, and I was delighted ultimately that I was able to eventually learn how to speak English. I think it was about third grade, then ended up graduating 12th in my class, high honors, which was a really big deal, you know, because mi ama, mi papa, that's all they always, I have 4 brothers and a sister, so they were always telling us, of course, that the education was priority because they didn't want us to live the life that they were living out in the fields and working as hard as they were working. And because I also personally saw it firsthand, it was hard. It was really, really hard. It didn't take much for my dad to convince me to continue to go, to continue my education and to go to college because I saw it, I worked it with them, and I lived it with them. And so we want to make sure that we're also advocating and making sure that our students, all of them, that are there continuing their education, you know, and being college and career ready and beyond.
Yes, and I think that work that you are doing is so important, especially highlighting the contributions that Latinos, Hispanics make to this country is incredibly important. One of the reasons that we do the Janie Flores live show is precisely because of that. We wanted to make sure that we were highlighting multicultural entrepreneurs from across the country who are making positive contributions to this country, who, you know, this country is considered powerful, strong, but that's because we have been a part of that as well. And I think that especially when it comes to Latinos, Hispanics, and more than any Mexicans, we've been in this country over 500 years, way before it was the United States. And I think that sometimes we don't remember that. And that's so important to be able to recognize and remember that. One of the things that I was reading your bio, and I really, really loved a quote that you wrote for the Hispanic Women of Distinction. And I'm going to read it because it just like hit me because I identified with this, right? Hispanic women are change agents that lead with pasión y corazón. They are resilient guerreras who know how to persevere through unprecedented times. That's me.
Yes, and me too.
Yes. Yes, and I think that's so important, especially right now, you know, as we're coming out of this pandemic. The group that has been most negatively impacted by the economy, bar none, okay, are Hispanic women. And this year, Equal Pay Day for Hispanic women is in December.
Oh.
That is unbelievable, unacceptable, and we need to raise our voices. And yes, we are resilient. Yes, we rise up to those challenges. But listen, okay, that doesn't remove the responsibility from others as they deal with who we are as and what the part that we play in society and how we should be compensated for the work that we do.
You're absolutely right. You know, I think it's time that we continue como hermanas, primas, to come together and continue to advocate and share our voice. When I do a lot of the work with regard to Florida Alas, and the other amazing opportunity that I get to do with Florida Alas and National Alas. National Alas is the National Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents, where I have the privilege of serving as a co-facilitator for the Linking Latinas Leadership Network. So within that network, we are talking about how can we better support our hermanas, our primas, our leaders of color, the women specifically, with regard to the work that they're doing at their school sites and in their districts, so that they can better serve the students. Because we all know we have barriers. We all know that we have to navigate through certain unique challenges because we may be double marginalized, right? There's a double standard there, right? Because not only are we women of color, but we're women, right? And so we talk about these very sensitive topics that aren't necessarily discussed outside of the organization. And it's about providing the support and how can we together navigate through that. So yes, I'm glad that you highlighted the quote. I have lived it, I have experienced it, and I have seen it, and I have heard it. And so for me, it meant a lot that that the organization, the Hispanic Distinction Organization, was able to indicate that, because it meant so much to me, because I felt like it really captured a lot of what we are having to navigate right now, right? And that we do have to push forward, and we have to make sure that we're persevering.
Absolutely. Well, once again, congratulations, Patricia. And the luncheon, the awards luncheon, is August 26th at the Signature Grand in Davie. And that'll be the Hispanic Women of Distinction Awards Luncheon 2022. I can't wait to meet you in person. Yo creo que somos primas hermanas por ahí.
Yes, Janie, because Janie apparently se apellida Trejo también, right?
I'm a Trejo, yes.
De Reynosa, y la familia mía es Matehuala, San Luis Potosí.
All of that, yeah. But yes, it's been a real pleasure. And listen, how can we follow you on social media or the organizations that you work with? How can we follow you on social media and keep tabs on the great work that you're doing?
Yes, definitely follow us with the Twitter handle at Florida_Alas. So you have to spell out Florida in its entirety at Florida_Alas, ALAS. And then my personal one is at Latino African, because I believe in our students that are underrepresented and marginalized. And so we have to continue to voice that. Muchas gracias for the opportunity. And I am so grateful to be a Hispanic woman of distinction, because that to me means that my voice has been heard and that my work has been recognized, especially the work that I've done for the benefit of all of our kids. So muchas gracias, Janie, for having me.
Thank you so much, Patricia. It sure has been an honor to have you on the show. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, gracias. Adios.
Adios.